All right, welcome back to the History Lab here with Mr. Uhrig. Today we are getting started on the real thing here, but before we dive too deep into the world history that we'll be talking about this year, we have to ask ourselves, how do we learn history? There's some key things that you need to know before we jump into learning about the different cultures like the Greeks, the Romans, or any of the previous Egyptian cultures that we will look into a little down the line. So how do I learn history? Before we even do that, we have to know that every day when we come in here, or every day that we open up an assignment, we have an objective. So what is an objective? Simply put, it's a goal, something that you want to achieve. Each day in this class, you will have an objective that you need to achieve. Pretty straightforward. So what's an example of one of our objectives? Well, some days you might have one, some days you might have 3 or 4. These will carry on for the next couple of days as we work on our assignment. So these are really our objectives for this week, not just this class. I am going to go over these with you. So you should be able to say, I can use correct vocabulary to describe historical events and issues. I can understand how time is measured. I can define primary sources and secondary sources. I can differentiate between archaeology and anthropology, or here it says anthropologist. So, as long as you can do those 4 things at the end of the week, you will be just fine in my class. Before we go into that, though, I do want you to know that a historian, someone who studies the past, studies the history, they really have 4 jobs or 4 hats that they wear, and you can see them here. A historian is a detective, a storyteller, a judge, and a philosopher. You can scroll through here to give you a little more in-depth description as to what each of those jobs are. I won't go through those with you right now, but they are here on the slides. I do want to show you, though, our assignment and how we're going to be able to achieve our objectives, or how and what we're going to learn. Before we do that, I do want you to take a minute here, watch this quick. It's like 2.5 minutes, just presenting to you why we're going to learn history, why it's important, why it's interesting and fun, and teaches us how to move forward as a society. I think you will like it, so go ahead and watch that before you get started. Once that you have finished there, you will notice that on Google Classroom or GC, it'll be listed many times. Let's try to abbreviate where we can. On Google Classroom, you do have to open up the assignment under classwork at the top of the page. We'll be working inside of our textbook. We don't have hard copy. Open up your book, turn to this page this year. Our book is online. It's the exact same thing, but instead of turning pages, we're clicking pages, all right? So our Savvas, that's the name of the book, our Savvas online textbook, you will go to pages 4 to 7. That's the only thing you have to worry about. Pages 4, 5, 6, and 7, that's it. Nothing too crazy. Let me show you the handout that we're working on and what I mean. So here on the left is, I've already had the book open to page 4. If you click next here, it'll take you to page 5. It might take a second to load. That's all right. I do want to point out here, if you're wondering how you know what page that you're on, here on the bottom corners, there are the numbers. So for pages 4, 5, 6, and 7 is what we're doing. Here's your handout. Now, I'm making this bigger because you can see here, these handouts, there's a bunch of orange boxes on them. What does that mean? So if you click inside one of these orange boxes, you will be able to type your answer or your name or the definition or whatever I'm asking you to look up. Once you click inside of these orange boxes on the pages, you just click, type the answer, you're good to go. What I want you to do here, I'll do the first one with you, or give you an example so you know what exactly to do. So historian, that's a key vocabulary word that I want us to know. I'm going to move this back over here just a little bit. Now, you will be able to see, once you've gone through and you've read these pages 4, 5, 6, and 7, be sure to read them first. After you've read them, go back here, look at your handout, look at the words in yellow. The words in yellow will be the ones that I'm going to have you define on your handout. So historians, people who study events in the past. So what do you think I want you to type here in the orange box under historian? I want you to type people who study events in the past. Well, it's pretty simple. We'll keep it that way. So here in this chart, I want you to provide 4 reasons why a historian's job is important to us. All right, you can find clues here in the book, or it might just come from your opinion as to what you think. Either are fine. So some tools a historian would need to be successful. Again, there's going to be clues in the text. So once you've completed this section, go on to the next. Timeline. Find the word in yellow. Here it is. Now, I want to show you a nice trick here that Savvis, our online book here, does. Let's say you find an answer to a question and you don't want to forget it. So if you click and drag your mouse, see how it highlights it here? This is going to pop up and it'll let you either circle it or highlight it or underline it. So highlight, let's make it green. There it is. So now you can come back, you know exactly what where the answer is that you found, come back to it so you can plug it into the handout or whatever. So this is, we are working on this for about the first 2 days in class. There's a decent amount to get through here. So if you have any questions, you need help, please be sure to ask. You can send me an email or you can send the remote learning people an email. I will provide that here in Google Classroom as well. So be sure to write in complete sentences. You know, we're in middle school now, so we can't just write down 1 or 2 things. We are writing in complete sentences. So let me know if you have any questions or if you need anything from me. Good night and good luck.